18th straight game last night, and they put it all on the line tonight against the Warriors. But who's been the MVP of that streak? And the King is returning to the court tonight versus the Clippers. But is LeBron being back enough to fix the Lakers? Plus, the game that had our NBA Today group chat popping off last night, it wasn't the one that you expected, because the Grizzlies, they beat the Thunder by 73 points. So we're going to fill in the blank on that record-setting win. We have a lot to get to today, but I've got just the right people to do it. I got my girl, Chiney Agumake. I got Kendrick Perkins. We have Stephen A. Smith, Zach
we got
Lowe.
the senior citizens in the building today, huh?
You are so rude. Adrian Wojnarowski is going to be joining us in a little bit, but, I mean, we have to put some respect on the Suns' name, so I think we need to start in the desert. 18 straight wins. Let's go. Let's check out how they did it. So the Suns were hosting the Pistons last night. That could be an easy game to look over, right, guys? Especially Devin Booker was out with a hamstring injury. So Chiney, who had to step up for Phoenix in his absence?
The role players, like right here, JaVale McGee, baby, missing 23 points a game because of D-Book, but the role players have really stepped up during this time.
Well, McGee had 8 points in the first half, but then there was also Cameron Payne. He was everywhere. Look at the spin move that he had. Finished. He had 15 points in the first half, and the Suns bench outscored the Pistons 35 to 10. So at the half, the Suns, they had an 18-point lead, Perk. But then we go to the fourth quarter, and the Pistons are a tough team. They weren't done yet. They closed the gap to 5.
Oh, they well coached. They're well coached.
But then Captain Clutch did happen.
Look at the big man. The pick and roll game is what creates for everyone, including themselves, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. But check out the pass here. Crossover because DeAndre Ayton rolls. You find the open man. This is great basketball, all led by Chris Paul and that pick and roll.
Preach. Look at the screen, Egum, but the rolling replacement.
It's just the threat of that two-man game that creates that type of space. So the Suns, they pull it out, 114-103. Here's Monty Williams and Chris Paul after the game.
I'm proud of the way you guys compete and you hang in there with each other. Teams make runs. We don't panic. We calm down. Down the stretch, we made plays. All you guys, you know how much I care about you. We got more to do and there's more to come.
Hey, one thing you ain't talking about is, man, Coach got a Coach of the Month.
Everything. Love y'all. Bring it in. Come on.
Together, 1, 2, 3. Together.
I love that. So the Suns' win streak has taken them to 7 different states all across the country. It has included multiple wins in both Texas and New York, and the Suns hope that after tonight, California, all told, the team has traveled about 10,000 miles and racking up their 18 consecutive victories. And then they're back at it tonight in San Francisco against the Warriors. I'll be on the sidelines, so please, everyone send some good travel juju to the travel powers that be, because I've got to make it. But before we look ahead, I do want to acknowledge that streak. 18 straight wins is beyond impressive when you consider it, especially when you think about the fact that 3 years, the Suns, they lost 17 straight games, right? So DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, they were all on that team. So I want to take some time in this turnaround, right? So starting with Chiney, all 3 of those players have been key contributors to this streak. But who has been the MVP?
I think we got to give some flowers, and I know we use that phrase a lot in sports right now, but rightfully so to Chris Paul for him and his leadership, but also his ability to just, during this tumultuous time, potentially, they've just really been professionals. And we just saw the pick and roll and how effective. I mean, look at that dime with one hand. You have to look at these win streaks that he's been able to be a part of or shepherd. He did it with the Clippers. He did it with the Rockets. He's now doing it with the Suns. He leads the league currently in assists. Also on the other end, I think he's 4th in steals per game. So both ends, that's why they're winning basketball games, because of Chris Paul. Offensively, that pick and roll, but then also defensively, just getting after it. He's been the MVP of the streak to me.
Perk?
I'm right there with you, and there's no disrespect to DeAndre Ayton. I think he's playing phenomenal basketball. No disrespect to Devin Booker or Mikal Bridges and everybody else who has contributed. But look, let's take it a step further. Why is Chris Paul not in the conversation of MVP? Okay? I understand Steph Curry, Giannis, and Kevin Durant, but Chris Paul need to be in that top 5 conversation. We need to keep the same energy that we had when Steve Nash won the MVP, when he was averaging 15 points and 11 assists. Right now, Chris Paul is averaging 14 points, 10 and a half assists. They're on an 18-game winning streak, and They arguably are the best team in the league right now. So the ultimate floor general, and on top of that, you know who's the most clutch player in the fourth quarter?
Mr. Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
And doing it without
Put that man in the conversation
Absolutely.
as MVP, because everybody get caught up on, oh, he
The
had
numbers.
50, he had this. But no, look at the effect that he's having on
Yes.
winning.
Well, and we know that part of the MVP voting, right, it's narrative based. And so depending on how much time we know Devin Booker is going to miss at least some, this could be a stretch where we're going to see a little bit more. But when I was chatting with the Suns last night post game, the sentiment that they had, it was a balance of this is great, but also we have to get right back on the horse against the Warriors. And Monty Williams said that in this league, if you want to win, sometimes you have to win tired, especially if you want to win it all. So the Suns and the Warriors enter tonight's matchup with a combined 37-6, thanks to dominant play on both ends of the floor. So these teams are 1 and 2 in both defensive efficiency and field goal percentage, and they rank in the top 3 of net efficiency. So all of that is a way to just say they are pretty good. You know who else is pretty good? Who we're about to be joined by. Perk and I are now joined by the man who puts the S in ESPN.
You better fix your face coming on.
Stephen
the
A.
show.
Smith. Stephen A., as always.
You better
Great
fix
to have you.
You better fix your
No,
face.
this is so disrespectful. It's great to see y'all. Congratulations on the great job y'all are doing. Malika, beautiful as always, beautiful work. And my brother, KP Shanae, you know you the real deal, girl. And you, KP, you supposed to be nice, but you gonna come on my show barking in the morning, and in the afternoon here I am all calm, and you gonna sit up there. You know, better fix your face. I mean, damn. All right, Mr. T. Okay, Mr. T. What's up?
All right,
Go ahead, Malika.
Stephen A. Well, we know, right, that when they're on the court, all eyes are going to be on Steph Curry and Chris Paul, right? So who's the most important player in tonight's game, Stephen A.?
Well, to me, I think that, you got to look at CP3 because Steph Curry's coming. I mean, he shot 421 from the field Tuesday night. You don't anticipate that that's going to happen the second go-round. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's close to a guarantee that it ain't going to be that bad. Second go-round, Mikal Bridges had the best two-point game I think we've ever seen, considering how all over the place he was on Tuesday in defending against Steph Curry. He was absolutely spectacular. And DeAndre Jordan, Ayton, he's definitely playing solid basketball this year, if not better than that, averaging 16 and 11. We know what they bring to the table, but with Devin Booker being out because of that hamstring injury, with CP3 knowing that the Golden State Warriors are going to be looking to avenge what happened just 3 nights earlier, particularly you coming off a back-to-back,
right?
Even though you just beat, it was the Detroit Pistons that you just beat. Bottom line is CP3 is going to be the guy, the catalyst that needs to keep them together in order for the Phoenix Suns to have a chance to stave off what's coming their way tonight.
Okay, so CP3 is going to be the guy for you, Stephen A., but Mr. Bulldog, who's the Bulldog that you are thinking needs to be the most Bulldog-ish to order to pull out this win? Big Perk.
Oh, I'm going.
But you and your barking? Come on.
Yeah, I didn't want to bark no more. I was admiring Stephen A. jacket. I want one. I'd send you my size off air. I don't want to tell the world, but here we go. Right, I'm looking at the Golden State Warriors to actually win this game tonight. You know why? One, because Stephen A. made a great point. The Suns coming in off a back-to-back. Golden State has been waiting on them. And as we see, this is a playoff type atmosphere type matchup. And so when you look at role players, what do they do best? They play better at home. So I expect Steph Curry to be Steph Curry, but I expect the others to step up. I expect, Steve Kerr, along with Ron Adams and Mike Brown, they're going to make adjustments. They're going to throw different defensive schemes, and they're going to put those guys in position to be successful. I got Golden State winning this game tonight.
Who you got, Stephen A.?
Oh, I got to go to say winning the game tonight. Notice that KP, Kendrick Perkins, brought up how much he loves my jacket and he wants one. He never once said he's going to pay for it. He's going to look for me to pay for it, too. So not only do I have to get him a jacket 3 times this size, by the way, I got to pay for it, Malika.
Put my business out there like this.
You're going to ask me to pay for it. I'm just letting y'all know. And I will. I'll pay for it. But in the end, in all seriousness, I just think that, to me, Golden State, regardless of how spectacular the Phoenix Suns have looked, and they've been nothing short of sensational. CP3 is an MVP candidate. Devin Booker is a star. DeAndre Ayton is big time. And Monty Williams is just the coach of the year. He was my coach of the year last year. I just think that the Warriors are so great, so lethal, that when things are flowing, they're unstoppable. And I think that tonight, Steph Curry is going to have a significantly better night than he did Tuesday night. I think the Warriors avenged their Tuesday night loss and they closed the deal tonight.
Well, since Steph Curry had one of the worst shooting nights of his career in Phoenix, you have to expect that he's going to take that personally. We're going to have much more on this heavyweight matchup later in the show, and I'm not talking about Stephen A's jacket versus